Well, good evening, everybody. It's a pleasure to be back. George Morgan here at your service. It's PSGL, it's Wednesday night, it's Spain tonight as well. Lots on the table, lots of battling. The title contest is still alive and kicking. And Jack, it's only taken us 10 rounds. We're on the 11th. It's all to play for.
Boromant goes on the inside and takes the lead on the final lap of the race. Now it's side by side between Boromant and Warner, but Boromant's got the inside.
Here in this phenomenal race, Cameron Dowd looking to take P2 in his very first PSGL F1 PC race. Incredible to say the least. You see that Putin still lead. 1.5 seconds. DRS is the name.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to PSGL F5. We are here for round number 5 around the Red Bull Ring in Austria. My name is Jay Cole, taking you guys through this as always. Joined alongside me, as well as always, is Oshin. I think I still remember to say that right, aka Randall was taken. How are you doing this evening?
I'm doing better now that you're getting my name pronounced right, and I'm sure our trusty house driver who's here tonight is going to be happy that his name is being acknowledged. But yeah, we are here for Austria, Spielberg, 3 DRS zones, and if we've had anything to look at the past 2 races, these last few laps are going to give us some hard problems, I think. My God. The absolute DRS games we are going to be witnessing tonight. And once again, we do not have Gian, so this is more chance for people to pull away in the championship from Gian. I believe it is Koolman who leads the way. I'm just going to verify that for a second. I did look at the standings, but then I forgot about them completely. But yeah, I think Gene's the only driver we're missing. We got your favourite, Smalley Balls, in for him tonight. But I think everyone else is our traditional rider. We're missing a Ferrari driver. Don't know what the story with that is, but... And yes, I'm right, it's Koolman in the lead with 37 points. Gian in second with 32, but he is not racing tonight. Caillou, I think that's how you say it now after discussions with him, is third with 30 points. Damien, after a couple poor rounds, has seen himself drop to 4th, but no good round puts him back into it. And then round up the top 5 is last week's surprise winner, NLR Frankish, who looks like he's going to be the sole Ferrari driver tonight by the looks of things.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think Nikitu said that his game's been trying to load for about 10 minutes, so he is trying to get into the lobby, so hopefully we should have a full 24 this evening. But
yeah, I think he was having issues last week also.
Yeah, so hopefully, the Germans are able to sort that out relatively soon. But yeah, I mean, like you say, it was very surprise race win last week for Frankish in around Qatar. After having a bit of a poor start to the season for him, he's managed to pick it back up since last week. So yeah, hopefully there's more of a sign to come for the Ferrari, and hopefully Nikita can also try that as well with his partner.
I mean, every result from last week was shocking. Like, you had the top 3 of Frankie's, Gridlick, and Maxro, 3 drivers who I think the top result for any of them coming into it was a P7. And they take up the podium, and you have Andrero, who also had his top result of P5. So a lot was changed at the championship. So maybe we're seeing a bit of a change here. Maybe we're seeing people who start off well starting to gas out and back off a bit, and people who weren't quick off the gates coming back into it now. Of course, we are now we'll be pretty much halfway through the season after this race, where we have almost the entire grid and that calendar announced. We are waiting one more race to be announced, but for those who haven't seen the remaining calendar tracks, round 6, which is next week. Yep, next week is Suzuka. Then we go to Imola. I'm looking at the PC one. I'm actually it's the right order anyway. So Suzuka round 6, Imola round 7, Spa is round 8. Jeddah. Good luck, God bless to the two of us in Jeddah. We're going to have to commentate through a Jeddah race. That is going to be fun. And then round 10 will be Mexico with a surprise at the end. Can I be bold and guess what the surprise is going to be? I don't think it's going to be a nice. I don't think it's going to be a nice surprise. I think it's going to be China or France. I think it's going to be one of those added. I think it's going to be one of those added ones.
You see, I thought different. I think because there is still the update to come, I think it's going to be Singapore for round 11 to finish it off.
When is that? Does anyone know when that update's coming through?
God knows. So hopefully it'll be a time for round 11 because I get the feeling that might be what Connor's waiting for.
I mean, I'll tell you this much. I am going to be very upset to see those 3 chicanes go. That third sector in Singapore is one of my favourite sectors to drive this game. And I tend to hate chicanes, but just something about the Singapore chicanes I just absolutely love. So I'm going to really miss those chicanes. I know some people are absolutely dying to see those chicanes go, but I will be one of the few who actually miss those chicanes when the update eventually comes, tragically. But we are almost ready for qualifying here in Austria. Are we going to get a dry qualifying?
I suppose we'll wait and see, but I could also be told that there might be a restart. Apparently, Coolman has said that there's no safety car that is on at the moment, so there could be a chance we could get a restart coming down.
What's he saying?
Apparently, safety car is off when it should be on. So there is a chance we could be getting a restart, but it's not looking like it's a dry qualifying at all.
It's dry but overcast, but it's actually foggy, weirdly. And we'll just wait for an official statement of that, whether or not we are actually getting a restart.
I think what they might do is they'll probably do the qualifying and we may restart it straight after the qualifying. So
do a restart after the qualifying just to save us some time. But Jesus Christ, everyone's come out at once. Maybe there's rain coming soon. Everyone's come out at once. This could be a one-shot quali.
Really could be. So let's have a look.
I think it is raining.
Is it raining?
I think it might be starting to rain. Just looking at the track, I can't see rain in the halo though. That's what I look for. But everyone's come out at once. That's it. Almost everyone is out, and look at that gaggle of cars like right now. This could be a one-shot qualifying just by how. Look at this absolute gaggle of cars. Oh, people gonna get held up massively here.
Wow. I guess you're right.
The fact that everyone's come out, only 2 cars in the pits at the moment. But yeah, that's telling. Well, Andrero, as tradition holds, will be leading us away in qualifying. Meanwhile, his teammate Hazara is backing everyone up. This could be a Williams front row lockout because everyone else is going to be jam-packed together. Because yellow flags out how slow they're going. But here we go for what may be a one-shot qualifying in Austria. So keep it on the track limits. Do what the actual F1 drivers cannot do, as Ronald Andrew with his very awkward turn 1, but navigates it well, keeps it within track limits, hopes up the first of 3 DRSs as he climbs off the hill, goes through the invisible turn 2 essentially, and breaks goes very deep through turn 3. Now the second DRS zone, let the engine do the work. Look at the absolute gaggle of cars coming through the last couple of corners. But now coming up to this very difficult turn 4, you gain a lot of time here. Ooh, a bit of curve there on the car there that might cost him slightly, but if it starts to rain in hell, it's going to be really good for him. And now navigates this difficult turn 6, keeps it within track limits. Turn 7, make sure you don't ride the curve too much, rides it perfectly. There's a car, he's going to get some slipstream off that Alpine. And now the last 2 corners, just keep it within track limits. You've done all the work here and don't want to run right. Rise a load of that curb. Oh no, and he can't do it. That's going to be this and next. So Hazara is going to be the first one to set a lap. A free 5, that's going to be difficult to beat.
Yeah, it certainly will be. A lot of other cars coming across the line as well.
Damien free 9. Kayu's done a free 4.
Rara as well. 103.44 set or 477. Oshin coming across the line. 103.7 as well. A lot of other cars just making their way across the line. Dutch Missile is going to be the next one. And on to pole. 103.444. Nicely done from him. A couple of other cars as well just coming across or coming around the final corner and across the line. True Drive going to be the next one across the line. And to P11 and 104.6. And then Giovanni as well. Yeah, unfortunately.
He rounded off the last corner. He rode the curve and it threw the car slightly wide. That is tragic. But after all the chaos, there's no rain yet. So maybe it has the rain held off. No.
Maybe for the time being. There is a Mercedes coming across the line. I think that is Ruddy, who's only put it into P13. I think must have is actually starting his proper official lap now.
Yeah, he probably invalidated early.
I think Maxro did as well. He was just coming across the line, but I think he invalidated at the final corner. So, yeah, that's pretty much all the first one's done. Other than Ruddy, we'll stick on board with the Mercedes. But 6 people not able to get a time on the board as of yet. Technically 7, because we was just waiting for Ruddy to come across the line. But 6 people not able to put a time on the board. Griglick, I think, as well, also gearing up is now starting his lap as well. So, yeah, both the Mercs trying to go for 2 laps on the soft compound tyre. I don't know if it is still going to end up raining, if that's why everybody else came up instantly, or if they're just trying to get 3, potentially maybe even 4 runs if a couple of them pick the softer option. That might be why they all came out quite early.
Because this is the quickest lap based on lap time, so you definitely have that time to play with. And the fact everyone came out, I don't know. You tend to have a few who do wait a bit, and just everyone out at once. But here goes Ruddy, solid 3-7. Man, I don't know. Maybe the rain's gonna hold off if there is rain, of course. Has anyone said anything in Discord by any chance?
Not sure, but we'll wait and see.
Lobby will be restarted after qualifying.
Got ya. Oh, Griglick around the final corner has a massive snap of oversteer. Into P11 he still goes, but there was definitely a lot of time for Griglick to make up with that, and now a lot of people going out on their second runs, the ones I can only assume really, that haven't put in a satisfactory lap time that they would have hoped for. And I think Andero is going to be our first one yet again to complete the second times around. Again, he's still one of the only ones that have yet to put a time out on the board for now, and I think he's got Jays just behind him as well, who's recently joined Parnell Racing, so congratulations to him. But yeah, we'll see what Andero can do, because usually we always tend to see him towards the top end of qualifying. I think as of recent, rain is now starting to drop down, so these guys need to get a move on quick time, and Andero is now driving it like it is a quali lap.
Yeah, it's still like he's probably not gonna beat anyone. It's just in case of putting the lap in, just to get ahead of those who haven't put the lap in. So Giovanni is in a real spot of water. He's not out. Oh dear.
Oh, Andero. That's that done for him. That's the Martin as well, spinning around the final corner. I think that might have been Smalley Balls coming around the final corner.
Is coming out now is Damien.
James as well.
Needs to put the lap in.
Yeah, I think it's already too wet. I think Jay's just had a massive snap of oversteer out of turn 1. Yeah, 7 tenths down on his time. I already think qualifying's done.
Chucked down.
Yeah,
it's absolutely chucked down.
I think it's done already. Qualifying.
Couldn't even get the brakes down. It's absolutely poured. I've never seen a track get this wet. It's only been raining a minute, and it's already on inters.
The thing is that, as weird as it's going to sound, it's still actually kind of beneficial for those bottom 5 to still do a qualifying lap.
Do a lap.
Because then
the inters do a lap.
Yeah, they can still try and get ahead of the rest of the guys that are next to them, all at the bottom. So at least any sort of position that they can make up, because they haven't put a lap time on the board. So really, our dry qualifying is done. It's now letting the wet qualifying commence between those bottom 5 guys. And obviously if Lakitu can get in as well.
Oh, Jesus, volleyball can't even touch the throttle. It's absolutely chucked. But here's another stat. For the first time this season, an Alpine's not going to head the grid. It's going to be the AlphaTauri of the Dutch Missile.
You're not wrong.
This last multiple times here, I'm pretty sure. What a turn of fortune for him. What a lap he put. He put the lap in when it mattered. A lot of guys put in massive laps, like Hazara put a 3.5, and that looked like it was going to be. That looked like it was going to contend for a pole. But free last match put in the 3.4s. Rara and Caillou separated by 1,000, but the Dutch missiles found something. They just pulled out an absolute storm of a lap.
Yeah, like you say, 33 thousandths of a second up ahead of Rara, so yeah, quite interesting qualifying. Quite an abrupt end to the dry qualifying session. Griglick is back out on track.
Oh Jesus, what a sight!
Not sure why Griglick's come back out on a set of intermediate tyres. Whether it does mean it could be rain in the race to see if he can maybe just get a bit of yeah. So
I mean, yeah, and like your tires gonna reset, so like you can just use these tires, like because it's gonna be a restart.
Yeah, that's true. That's very, very true. So,
oh Jesus, it's absolute like it's important. It's coming to wets. Like it's genuinely coming to wets. Like Griglick is struggling here on the Inters.
Yeah, it definitely looks like it could be going to a set of wets because, yeah, the rain, as you say, is coming down significantly more now, so...
Oh, Jesus, he can't even turn... Is it wets already? It doesn't look like as much... You're looking like for puddles rather than the glare. Like, it's getting to that, but it still looks inches right now, like heavy inches, like... You're not debating whether it's inches or not. I just think Giovanni's retired. He's happy to start last, I guess. But yeah, I guess we need to watch the likes of Max, Smalley Balls.
Ooh.
Oh, Max. Oh, how is he not invalidated that? He was definitely off there.
Yeah, I was for certain he went off track as well, but...
He moved off.
Yeah, he managed to keep it on. That time he's definitely gone off track. And yeah, that's now his lap time done. So it looks like the two ET8 boys of Mika and Andero. In fact, Mika will be our first one. It's just past Andero, so... yeah, we'll wait and see what Mika can do. See if he can, you know, put himself in the P15. Yeah, they really are on these Inters.
I have a suspicion it's going to be full wet for the race, and everyone put a dry setup on because it was dry for like the 5 minutes, and they knew it was going to be restarted. Because everyone is struggling so much here, so I have that suspicion that it's going to be a full wet race, and since it's going to be restarted, everyone just threw a dry setup on.
Only time will tell, but Mika coming up towards the turn number 3 now, cutting them inside quite nicely. There is Smalley Balls just out in front of him on an outlap as well, so hopefully he doesn't get in his way. But now coming up towards turn number 4, where DRS would be activated, but because of the rain, it is not and has been disabled. Around turn number 4 now, want to try and get on the throttle as early as possible, but not too early, because especially in the rain, that will chuck you into that right-hand wall. Now through turn number 6, a long left-hander as he makes his way up towards the S section of the circuit now. It's apparently purple sector 2. Don't know how that has actually managed to happen, but...
This is going to be the absolute god pole lap here for Mika.
Yeah, exactly. As he's got 2 more corners now left to go in these intermediate conditions. Is Mika going to be the best of the wet? We'll have to wait and see as he's making his way around the final corner now and up towards the line. The Smalley Balls just in front starting his lap, and it's a 1:12.0 for Smalley Balls. What about Andero? He's just coming up towards the line now as well, 1:12.8. So 0.8 of a second faster than Andero goes Mika. So nice job from him. And I think Maxro might be our next one to complete a lap. Grigley, he's just doing some wet weather practice for some reason. But yeah, really, it's just the rest of these guys at the bottom to see where they're going to end up filtering out in this qualifying session.
Yeah, we're gonna have our own Inters championship here in qualifying between 5 drivers. Well, 4 because Giovanni decided he didn't want to take part in the Inters championship. But between the other 4, who is going to be the Inters champion? They'll get the award of starting P15 though. It's going to be Maxwell by the looks of it. Nice lap from him. Smalley Balls has it validated.
So I reckon these guys are all still going to keep on going round. It doesn't look as if Mika's probably got, or he's using or saving a bit of his ERS on this time around. So probably is just gearing up to go for another lap. As you say, Smalley Balls out in front is going to be going for another lap now as well. As in fact, Mika coming into the pits, and Darrow, we'll see if he's going to maybe go for another lap or not. Let's have a look. Yeah, no, Darrow is going for another lap. So. We'll see what he's able to do. And as you say, Smalley Balls as well. Just starting his Inters lap now, I suppose.
He hasn't validated yet, so I think that's where they went the last time. I think he validated off the first score the last time. But they are struggling so bad. I'm still David's just chilling the pits. You know, he hasn't retired yet. He's just enjoying life, I guess.
Yeah, he's just cheering on his teammate, I think.
Yeah, he's probably just going to hand over some Intus to Smolly Balls to try and win the Intus Championship, because that's more important than the PSGL PSF5 Championship. It's the Intus Championship is what everyone wants to win here.
Certainly do. As Maxwell's coming to the pits to retire, so Maxwell's quite content with his lap time. In fact, actually improved on that time as well, a 1:11.444. So, yeah, Maxwell has, as I say, probably done what they would have thought would be better. As Smalley Balls out of the final corner has invalidated his time and puts in the wall. Fair enough.
He lost another traction, lads. For Suzuru's watch, he lost another traction. Oh, and Drill's up by 7 temps. Hold on here. Oh, he's close.
But something tells me that's probably going to be qualifying finish. I don't know if Mika's going to try and go back out. Yeah, Griglick, as you say, is coming in. I don't know if Mika's going to try and improve, or I don't know if Andero's going to try and come back out and go for another set of inters to improve. But I get the feeling now would probably be where we have this lobby restart. I say that though, Andero's up by 0.3 of a second. So
yeah,
despite being relatively low on ERS,
yeah, the rain's got it a bit less, but looks nice. The track definitely looks like there's a line forming, like there's a dark patch forming, so I think that little swapper's not going to do him much favours. He only needs to improve by a 10 to get hit of Mika anyway. Yeah, he'll need a storm a lap to win the Inter Championship. Yeah, he's also on time off turn 4. And he's low on fuel, so I think we are going to see the end of Angero's chances. So the winner of the Intus Championship, we can say Alpine still have 100% record in qualifying, just with the Intus qualifying here, as Maxwell wins the Intus qualifying. But the actual winner of qualifying is the AlphaTauri of the Dutch Missile.
Certainly is. So Dutch Missile going to be out on top with Rara alongside him in second, Kailu in third with Hazara in fourth. Coolman in fifth with Riley in sixth. Coolman also joined in NLR. Congratulations to him for that as well. Then it's the two Hasses of Fraser and Oshin in seventh and eighth. Damien in ninth for Frankie's rounding out the top 10. Griglick in 11th. Carl Scarrett in 12th. Jace in 13th. True Drive in 14th. Maxwell in 15th. As you said, the Inter champion. Mika in 16th with Andero in 17th. And the Smalley Balls and Giovanno didn't manage to put a time on the board, so will be in 18th and 19th respectively for the pair of
I also like to point out Damien is drifting on the track on softs. Why not?
Yeah, I suppose why not, but
I mean, I'll tell you this much: if I'm one of the other guys, I am not too impressed with this. Like, I just want to get this over with. And this lad's doing Tokyo Drift at the moment.
Yeah, I thought he was at the same time. Don't know why Max Powers joined, but yeah.
And he's just on a Tokyo. Fuck him in Max Power. I thought he lost his seat.
I don't know, actually.
I mean, Andrea's going to try another lap by the looks of it, but I don't know. Thank you for that, Damien, I guess.
Is Andera going to have enough time to get another lap done?
He probably will get across the line.
I don't know. It's going to be quite tight. We'll see. I think if he is going to need to, he's going to have to.
Slow.
Yeah, he's going to have to speed it up if he is wanted to do another lap, because I don't know if he's going to have enough time to get around.
30 seconds should be fine, but he's definitely not got any, haste to his lap. If he doesn't miss the line, like if he misses the line, this might be hilarious. I think he's fine though.
Yeah, he does the line.
He should be fine. Imagine if he doesn't this next though, that would. Oh, please tell me, please. Yeah, he's fine. He's made the line. We have one more lap.
Certainly.
To decide who will win the Intus Championship. Will it be Andrero? Will it be Max Aro? Who will win the Intus Championship here in PSGL PSF5 here in Austria, the most prestigious title in all of PSGL. He's 2 times up in the first leg. The track has definitely gone better. Can he get under an 11.4 to take the Intus Championship, and with that, P15?
Only time will tell, I suppose. Coming around turn number 4, though, he has a little bit of a slight wobble coming out of it. I think he just took a bit too much on the curb there, but going through turn number 6 now as well, and coming up to the exit of it. Is he improving? By 2.5 tenths, so he'll beat up Mika, but it depends on this final sector. Maybe the final sector is where he actually made probably the biggest mistakes, so we'll see if he's able to make it up for it. Completely misses the apex at turn number 9, and see if he does the same for turn number 10. No, does actually hit the apex off that quite nicely. At the exit of the final corner, it's going to beat Mika, but it's not going to beat Maxro, and that's the time done, and we should be having a restart go down. But again, just in case you did end up missing it, it is going to be the Dutch Missile out on top for this qualifying. Rara in second, lining up on the front row. Kailu is in third with Hazara in fourth. Coolman, our championship leader, in fifth, with Roddy in sixth. Fraser in seventh, Oshin in eighth, Damien in ninth, Frankis running out of top 10, Griglick in 11th, with Carl Scarrett in 12th, Jays in 13th, True Drive in 14th, Maxro in 15th, with Vandera in 16th, Mika in 17th, Smalley Balls in 18th, and Giovanna in 19th. And Max Power, who I think has actually taken over for taken over for Lakitu for this evening due to a few game issues, is going to be down in 20th position. I think he actually ended up losing his full-time seat, but is keeping a reserve seat, so I think that's why he is actually in the lobby. But yeah, whilst we are waiting for this lobby to restart to go down, I just cut it over to the GT Omega adverts, so we'll be back with you guys as soon as that is done. Hopefully we can get this lobby restart done ASAP. Yes, so hopefully we should be getting this restart done ASAP. We're just waiting for Maxro to send us an invite. But I mean, what did you make of that qualifying? Like, as you said, it was only a one-shot qualifying. What was your take on that?
Interesting, to say the least. Definitely confused me a lot, I'm not going to lie. Oh, I'm actually quick with it, actually. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see Dutch Missile on pole position. He's not had the best luck when it comes to the actual race. He's definitely been caught up in a lot of unfortunate incidents. So, can he, will this be the day for the Dutch Missile? I don't think he's actually scored yet this season. So, could he be another one who just has a breakthrough performance like we saw a lot of last week? But yeah, Carrara, no Alpine on pole. Could that spell, success for Alpine? Could them not be on pole? Could that be what gets them, the win at last? I mean, if they do win, Rara and Maxwell are definitely never trying for pole ever again. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah. They'll be settling for second and third place majority of the time. Then, if it is the case that they can get on to, or if they can end up winning it this evening, I'll be surprised if Maxro does. But I mean, anything can really sort of happen, can't it? So
he won the Inter qualifying, so he's got the cursed. But oh wait, that might convert the curse because Alpine won the Inter qualifying. Oh dear.
But again, I suppose we'll wait and see. But I think, as you were saying at the start of the stream as well, next 5 races on the calendar. Like you say, next week we'll have Japan, Imola, Spa, Saudi Arabia, and then Mexico. No break weeks at all either, so it's just going to be one sort of consistent throughout the whole of the season. Literally just 11 races for 11 weeks. And yeah, pretty much we are at the halfway point of the season. So I don't know. I feel like so far it's just been a lot of different inconsistencies with drivers. I mean, the one that's leading it at the moment, of Coolman, I mean, he's pretty much been one of the only ones that's been relatively consistent. Gian has literally had a win and then 11th place and then a win again. And then didn't race at Qatar and isn't racing tonight, and he's in second. Coolman, he's had a second place, a sixth place, and a fourth place. So
Gene's 11th was due to him getting spun around twice in Bahrain, I believe.
but I mean,
He got
overall,
spotted around.
yeah, it's like the whole. It's been relatively inconsistent. That even with Gian having that spin, you know, he's still managing to sit in second in this championship so far. I think Kailu and Coolman, literally, as I say, are the only two that have kept it relatively consistent. Other than maybe Kailu last race, but again, I think he was involved in some sort of incident as well. So, yeah,
Damien's been involved in incidents, got involved in an incident in Silverstone when he was battling for the podium. I think he just didn't have a good race last week. I think he had a poor qualifying, just got stuck. I think he's starting ninth. I mean, he showed off his drifting skills. So if this was a drifting competition you have to do sometimes in my team, he's definitely got gold there and got an extra €5 for his my team.
yeah, he definitely would have done. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I think as you say, the biggest one, our biggest surprise, the Dutch missile up on pole, I think is going to be a bit interesting because he's not going to have to missile his way through the pack. He's actually going to be the missile leading the way. So unless Rara gets him into turn one, which it could happen. It just depends how good of a start he can get. Rara, we know.
To turn one here could be a bit because while this track aids overtake a lot, I think a lot of people forget how tight this track actually is.
As you say, into turn one, it's reasonably tight, and you're going. It's like an uphill right-handed king, so it's quite difficult to get a move done into turn one. But it depends whoever gets a better start. I think whichever one of those two do, then it could be. Well, they'll obviously be leading us away from the rest of the pack probably for the first two laps. But as soon as that DRS comes into play, like you say, it's quite a DRS heavy track. So yeah, I think whoever's leading into turn one and whoever's leading after the first two laps, I'd say don't expect them to be the ones that win it for this evening. It just all depends who can keep it clean in this DRS train. Because as I said, it's like if you thought the last 4 weeks have been constantly riddled with DRS trains, I think Austria is notorious for it. So it's just when those first pit stops come around, I think is then when we're going to start to see who's potentially on for the win, who would have botched their strategy. It depends as well because we don't know if it's still going to be rain in the race. We have absolutely no idea. So I suppose we'll wait for confirmation of that.
I haven't seen anything mentioned about the weather for the race. I mean, I kind of like a bit of rain in a race. It would spice things up. Definitely. No mention of the weather. I kind of like some rain. I'm not gonna lie. Just spice it up a bit.
Yeah, definitely would spice stuff up. Might even allow Max Rowe to come back through the field. If he was the Inters champion, he's already a little bit of
he's begging for
practice
rain.
on that. So, but I mean, I think in fact, actually, it looks like on the starting screen, I don't think there is going to be any rain. I think it's just looking like it's going to be cloudy throughout. I mean, it could be wrong. Could be later on. There could be rain, but from what it's looking like over here, it looks like it could be no rain. So. Yeah, I think the usual strategy around here is hard to medium or medium to hard. See if anybody maybe opt to go for the softs towards the back end of the field or even at the front end of the field. I'll probably say they'd be the only ones that I would consider. Yeah, or Damien. He usually seems to go for different strategy. But yeah, you're saying Damien has said that it's dry, so that's fine. I think we're just waiting for one more person to get into the lobby before we can start.
No phrases there.
It's one of the Aston Martins, so Smalley Balls. Waiting for Smalley Balls to get back into the lobby before we can start.
They're still recovering his car, I think, from his massive traction loss. I'm surprised they didn't red flag it. Like he lost on the straight with how wet it was.
Yeah, he didn't look like he was enjoying his time, did he?
No, he had, the Espen Ocon experience, I guess we could say.
Certainly did. So, like I say,
So, yeah, I guess that this is a special race for a special prediction. Who is going to win the Esteban Ocon Award, as I will graciously call it? Who's going to get the most penalties tonight?
oh, that's a good question.
Who's going to get the Esteban Ocon Award?
I'm gonna go ahead and say I don't really know. I think based off of what we see from qualifying, who just couldn't put a lap together. If he does end up joining back in as well, I'd say Smalley Balls. But I don't know. I think that's a tight one. Adero as well. He was another one that was sort
Yeah,
of
Andreo's my
validating quite a
pick
few.
for.
But
Andreo's my pick for the Esteban Ocon Award. Well, maybe Maxwell. He'll have to be going for the field, so he'll have to be a bit adventurous. So maybe he's a French driver for Alpine. It'll be perfect. For him to win the Esteban Ocon Award, which that is what I'm going to officially title the driver who gets the most penalties in a race from now on. It will be deemed the Esteban Ocon Award, especially here because if you survive this race without getting a penalty, you deserve the win for that alone. Because there is no chance you go 36 laps around here without going outside track limits 3 times.
yeah, I think it's very difficult. I mean, I will just sort of brag about it, even though I'm literally in the bottom tier for the PC side. But I mean, I managed to do it and took the win, so I'm not going to complain. But we'll see if anybody else is going to be able to do it for this evening. It's definitely doable, but it's not very easily doable. So
And for Pepe, we are waiting. Okay, so Spyballs has said, just go. I'm not going to drive anymore. So I think that is our good to go side.
very strange, but okay, I suppose it's up to him. I suppose. Not sure why he's not going to anymore, but yeah.
They're still recovering his car.
Yeah, we'll leave it at that. It's just still getting his car recovered. But yeah, we're now getting ready to jump back into the session. So hopefully we should be able to get going very, very shortly. If you're obviously new to PSGL, make sure you do try and subscribe. And check out the GT Omega as well, the main sponsor for PSGL. Link is in the description. Make sure I think you use code PSGL in checkout, and you should be able to get yourself a nice little discount for GT Omega. So yeah, so make sure you guys are checking them out, as yeah, we are just getting ourselves back into the lobby. Very early prediction. I've got to ask you, who do you reckon is taking the win this evening?
Who am I going to curse? You know what? I think today is going to be the day Alpine still don't manage to win the race. I don't think it's going to be Rara. I don't think it's going to be Dutch Mistral either. I don't think his race pace has been electric. I need to remember the grid, but I think Caillou is third. So I think he can be the guy. He'll sit behind Rara for the whole race and he'll get him towards the end. That's going to be my prediction. I think Caillou is going to be the winner tonight, and he may take the championship lead with that. I think Coolman had a poor qualified also. I think he's a bit down there.
Yeah, I think he's down in 7th position or something like that. I suppose we'll see in just a second. But I'm going to say, for me, I've got faith in the Alpine. Today I feel like Alpine, and I feel like Alpine will take that win. I think Rara has got what he's has got it in him to take the win this evening. So starting the second, like you say, the curse of the Alpines has been broken, potentially. After 36 laps, I suppose we'll see if the curse of the Alpines have been broken.
It's not been broken though because Maxwell won the qualifying.
That's the Inters, though. So hopefully by that, it might even change it.
If they don't win today, we're blaming the Inter qualifying for it.
Yeah, we'll go with that. We'll
go with the Inter qualifying. Continue the Alpine curse, but yeah, Aston Martin for the first time last week failed to win. Now, can Damien recover their streak, or will? Actually, when did Frank Keish qualify? I think he was
down in 10th.
Down in 10th. I mean, did he take pole? No, he was third in qualifying last week, I believe. Oh yeah, and also, who's going to forget the setups?
That's also what I was just about to say as well.
Yeah,
I wonder who's
just
going to
in
be
case
one
it
of
was-
those. That's
There's
going to
probably
forget
someone
this
who
up.
someone was probably watching the stream, going, oh, yeah, oh god, yeah, sub. But no formation app.
Oh, okay, so we're getting this one straight underway. I thought there'd be a formation lap, but there isn't. The 500 lights are out, and away that the drivers go. And it looks like actually Kailu is the one that's had the best start of the top three. Dutch Missile has had a relatively decent start, but Kailu trying to go around the outside, but not going to be able to get a move done. A lot of jumping throughout the field. Roddy and Fraser both changing positions as well, both side by side of each other. Fraser trying to go around or down the inside of turn number 2. Backs out of that one. Roddy is then able to keep that position, trying to go down the inside. Potentially Fraser going around the outside, of turn number 3, as well as Coolman trying to go around the outside of Hazara into turn 3 as well. Hazara now unfortunately losing out that position, and Roddy again is looking to potentially lose out that position to Fraser. Goes defensive, going down in towards turn number 4, not able to get, is able to keep that position from the Haas, as well as Coolman also still just now trying to defend from Hazara. Hazara trying to come at Coolman, going down through turn number 6 and through the turn 7 and turn 8 as well, but Coolman slots it back up into P4, and our championship leader now trying to climb his way through the field. He's actually done that very nicely up to P4, and I can see that Carl Scarrett unfortunately has lost up quite a few positions at the start here.
Yeah, now Alfa Romeo got the braking all wrong, tried to avoid a few drivers, and unfortunately caught Carl Scarrett. Carl Scarrett was car ghosted immediately, which was very fortunate. Otherwise it'd be a massive crash. But yeah, unlucky day for him. But Damien's, I think there's a Haas off there. Fraser went off the track. He took the MotoGP line. He lost out to his teammate there. But yeah, we still have Dutch Missile leading this race. Rara though, he's looking at him. He actually turned on the start. Oh, Rara's gonna go for it. He's buried the ERS. Is he gonna go for it? No, but Caillou's gone for it. Very narrow. I think there's a bit of brushing there. But it's still gonna go wheel to wheel through turn 5. It's gonna be wheel to wheel through turn 6. Is Caillou gonna brave it out? No, Rara shuts that door off.
Yeah, nicely done from Rara to keep that position from Caillou as well. And I think there's a couple other guys as well. I think Damien got past Oshin, and I think Fraser as well was the one that went off at turn number 1. Giovanno just passing Jays as well for P15. So despite starting at the back of the field, Giovanno's making up a couple of places. Maxro as well, the Inters champion, coming up to P12 already as well. Frankish unfortunately losing out a position to Griglick as well. So Griglick now at the back end of the top 10. But now DRS has been enabled, and I can get the feeling we're going to see a lot of position changes going. As you say, Caillou, he's going for the both of them, going around the outside in towards turn number 3. They're almost 3 wide going through towards it, but Caillou is the one that slots it out on top on those medium compound tyre. Rara trying to go around the outside of Dutch Missile as well, has done so successfully. Dutch Missile unfortunately losing out 2 positions, could potentially be a third as Coolman's going to look to try and maybe go down the inside in towards turn number 4. Not going to be able to do that in the end, and that is the Dutch Missile unfortunately took the pole position, led the first 2 laps. I said if you're leading the first 2 laps, don't expect to be leading it going forwards, and that's exactly what has happened. Caillou is now slotted it into the lead of the race, and let's have a look at what tyres we've actually got for the rest of the guys. Yeah, so I knew Caillou would be on the mediums. True Drive and Carl Scarrett are the only other 2 that are on the mediums. I think Andero must have been as well, because he's made an early pit stop, as that's Maxro and Fraser. In fact, Fraser, I don't know what's happened to Fraser. He's in fact just slowing down. He's in fact got front left end plate damage, so he must have gone into the back of someone early on in this race, and is going to make his way into the pits to probably go. Well, he's going to have to try and 2-stop it unless he does end up retiring from the session. But Maxro now out of the DRS from the top 8. Yeah,
right now it's going to be a game of patience, I guess, for those behind Caillou. Caillou just got for it early. He needs to get the use out of those mediums. I guess Rara's just, his main job at the moment is just maintaining this P2 while maintaining the gap. I guess that's going to be his main job. But yeah, we're seeing already a split in the field as Frankish has been gapped by second. He's got Maxro, who's probably going to, doesn't go for the lead there, but Maxro, I say, will be joining the back of this leading pack very soon. True Driver also, he's on the mediums. He needs to get used to these mediums quickly. Yeah, it's going to be, I say, what we're used to be seeing, a lot of just patience. There might be some swapping at the front. I'm not sure how Kapai, Rara, and Caillou are going to be with together. They've definitely had a fair bit of racing together, especially in Bahrain with David, so they know how to do it with each other. So it'd be interesting to see if they're going to continue the the being complacent with each other, overtake each other. Dutch Missile in unfound territory here. Will he be prepared to play this, after you game we have early on here? Or will he just try to go for the lead here? Or is it just good looking behind him, trying to maintain the podium? It's going to be stuff we're going to discover as this race goes on. But no real looks of movements here by looks of things.
Yeah, it looks relatively even so far. Hazara's just, content with sitting behind Coolman as well. Maxro getting a move done on Frankis actually for P9, so he's now going to try, or he's got overtaken on the last lap by Frankis. He's now made that way back through, and he's going to try and catch up to the back of Oshin at the for the top 8 as well, and can join the 2 DRS trains put together. So we'll see if the Frenchman's able to potentially do that, but at the moment it's looking like he's not able to catch up to the rest of those guys behind him. In fact, Frankis is the one that's actually looking a bit quicker out of the 2 of them, so maybe it wasn't the smartest idea for Maxro to overtake Frankis at the moment. But I mean, I think Frankis looks like he might get his revenge very, very soon, as Oshin is looking like he could be losing out DRS to the top 7, or to Damien, shall I say, very soon. He's about 8/10 of a second behind, as there we go. Frankis now getting that move done on Maxro through
Dutch Missile's going for it.
Here we go. Yeah, Dutch Missile was looking to see if he can really go for it, as in fact losing out of position out of Coolman. Coolman has managed to get a bit of a better exit out of the hairpin, and is now up into 3rd position. So our championship leader is just waiting for everybody else to make that mistake, and he's pouncing on those mistakes and getting them done.
Oh, Dutch Missile went into gravel there actually, but yeah, I think Dutch Missile missed his braking point, so had to avoid going the back of Rara, and that just gave him a horrible exit off free, which just made it an easy move for Coolman. Which that is very easy to happen here. Get the break point wrong, and then you just send someone else spinning with you. That's just a guaranteed 5-second penalty. So that's something people have to be very wary about. How close people can get here. But no real tag along. Oshin becomes the first person to get 3 seconds. I'm actually surprised we waited till lap 7 for that. But I think Davy's looking for a move on Ruddy. Ruddy's going to get switched back here. No, Ruddy. Davy's going to get switched back on Ruddy. Does he have the speed to get past? If he's still on DRS, it's going to have to be a lunge. As Hazara's looking at Dutch Missile, it's going to be 2 passes into turn 4. Wheel to wheel. Dutch Missile maintains that position. Bit of wheel back between Ruddy and Damien. But it seems all good here. I think Ruddy's going to maintain the position though. He has the inside line for turn 6. And yeah, Ruddy's going to maintain that P6 for now. But that's saved Oshin though. That's kept him in this leading path, that fighting.
Yeah, I think all that battling really helped Oshin to be able to stay in the DRS of these guys out in front of him. Otherwise, I think he was dropping out of that. So, Ruddy manages to hold on ahead of Damien for the time being. And Hazara also not able to get past the Dutch Missile. Dutch Missile, as I say, started in pole. He's now down to 4th position and almost losing out DRS as well to those top 3. I don't know what's happening with his race pace, but his qualifying pace was, well, it was a very good one, considering that it was a one-shot qualifying. But
move for the lead.
Yeah, I think he's not going to be able to. He's just going to sit behind for the time being. Is Rara? I don't think we're going to see Rara attempt an overtake at the moment. Although maybe it depends on the exit that he can get out of turn 3. As I say, at the moment he's not going to be able to. So Zara's going to go for the move on the Dutch Missile, going through turn number 4. Dutch Missile, I thought was going to try and hold it down the inside, but not going to be able to do so. And Hazara manages to make pit P4. Dutch Missile's now down 4 positions from the start of this race. And unfortunately, I feel like he might be dropping a couple more because Ruddy is already catching up to the back of the Dutchman.
Yeah, but I think this is the exact same thing Rara did in Silver, so I'm pretty sure it's him. But just stay behind. He was lifting halfway through the straights. He doesn't want to make the moves early. He wants to make them late. He's happy stayed in P2, laid the DRS carrier through. He's probably maybe a bit of fuel saving, of course, with how the fuel works in this game. This allows him to save some fuel and save some ERS, as he's on 100%, while Caillou's on 30%. Like, a lot of savings going on here. I think Caillou's trying to force to make movements. He's taking some unorthodox lines here. Yeah, this is... Oh, Caillou! Real lock there.
Surely here is where I think Rara's going to go for the move if Caillou's really struggling. But no, he's still content with staying behind him for the time being.
he did the exact same thing with Kuban in Silverstone in the early stages, and it did not work out for him in the end. I don't even think he got a podium in the end. So he got one podium. Dutch Missile, Ruddy are going through it. It's going to be very tight. It's going to be very awkward here for turn 7. They're going to be kind of a bit of rubbing, but seems all good. Good battling between the two of them. And I think Dutch Missile might just maintain. It depends on the traction with Ruddy, but Dutch Missile's going to have the inside line for 9. Yeah, Dutch Missile, great racing between the two of them. But I think it's an inevitability that Roddy gets this P5 off the Dutch Missile. Rara's just moving out to make sure he doesn't get the move done. Very interesting. Oh, Hazara's had a moment here. Dutch Missile might actually gain a place rather than losing a place here. Hazara had a tank swapper through turn 1, so could this be a move? As it's going to be free wide for the lead, I think now. Oh, Dutch Missile, how has he not gone into the back of anyone there? Rara took the lead also, and Kuban is going to take P2 here. He might even take P1. It's going to be a lunge into turn 4. No, doesn't go for it, and Caillou's going to fight for P2 back, but I think Kuban has that P2. He does, as Roddy has got past Dutch Missile, but Dutch Missile's going to fight this back into turn 6. But Roddy had the track position. That was his corner to turn 6, and Roddy's up to P5. But Dutch Missile just continues to fall back, and you assume Damien's going to get him soon.
Yeah, he certainly will do. I think, as you say, Damien is probably going to get him maybe on the next lap or the lap after. Depends if any of these guys out in front make a mistake. And yeah, I think Kaelu as well. I think those mediums are starting to drop off for him now, as well as Maxwell picking up the 3-second time penalty down in P10. And yeah, Kaelu, I think, as I say, those mediums I think are starting to go off for him now, because it's lap 11 and lap 36, almost a third of the way through on this race so far. Rara now, of course, the one in the lead of the race, and our championship leader is up into 2nd position, so he's had a very good recovery from his qualifying, but we'll see if Rara's going to be able to hold on to this race lead for the next coming laps, because I think Coolman probably wants to try and get a bit in the lead, just try and lead for a little bit, or maybe even try and save some ERSs. That's Damien getting a booth done on the Dutch Missile, and yeah, as I say, Dutch Missile's now lost out yet another place down to P7 for the Dutchman. And again, I think Oshin also might even be looking a little bit quicker than the Dutch Missile as well, so we might even see another position go for him. The only thing for Oshin is that he's got that 3-second time penalty, whereas the Dutch Missile keeping it clean so far. And yeah, only 3 drivers, as we're practically a third of the way through on this race now. Only 3 drivers with a 3-second time penalty so far, which is not bad going, to say the least. But I think we're going to see a potential move actually go down for P2, because Kaelu might have found a second wind in these tyres.
Yeah, I think he just had a really poor exit through turn 1 and lap he got overtaken, because Rara did burn any ERS there. I think Rara was forced to make the move because it was free wide temporarily, so I think Rara just forced to make the move there, otherwise Kovac would have got him. So Rara's not in the position he wants to be right now, I believe. But he's maintained it well, and Koolman is playing the same game here. He's moving out of the slipstream and lifting off before the corner to ensure he doesn't get any move going here. Oh yeah, Caillou, I think Caillou wants to lead. I think he was happy leading. Not thrilled about leading, but I think he's out these front 3. I think he's the best to lead these early stages. He's done it a couple times leading the early stages. Of course, he's not been able to convert it. Of course, it only matters when you lead when the checkered flag waves. But I think Caillou's the best at managing a race, like dictating the pace of a race. He does also tend to go for the alternative strategy. We've seen him a lot go for the softer compounds, or extend the stint potentially, or go for the undercut. But yeah, especially he'll have a massive undercut potential here on the rest of these guys when he decides to hit, which I suspect will be around lap 50 or 60. Well, here comes Koolman for the lead. Championship leader leads a race, and I think Koolman is yet to win a race so far. This might be the first time he actually leads a race. Actually, no, he led in Silverstone. I am horribly wrong in that statement.
Yeah, so Coolman now into the lead of this race, but is Rara going to allow that for that much longer? I think, again, they're just playing that patient game. Rara's probably just content with sitting behind, building up some ERS. Again, it's when these pit stops start to come into fruition is when we're going to see whose strategy is going to be the one that comes out on top. I think Kaelu, where he's still stuck behind at least 2 of the hard runners, and he's got multiple hard runners behind him, I think he might start to drop through the pack. when these pit stops do come into their or when these pit stops do come into it. So yeah, I think Kailu, if he needs to do anything, maybe an early pit stop for him might be a bit more beneficial. Get a bit of an undercut on the rest of the hard runners, and then try and obviously go to the end on those hards, which should be fine. But I think an early pit stop for him may not cause any harm. I think if anything, it might actually help him a bit more, because then he'll break away from the rest of the guys that will probably pit almost on the same lap to go on a set and a medium compounder tyre as Rara. Maybe eyeing up a move down in towards turn number 3. I don't think he's going to go for it. I think just poking his nose in there, just, you know, reminding Coolman that he is right behind him. And I think Rara actually having a better exit as well, going towards turn number 4. But again, I think Rara is just content with sitting behind Coolman. As I said, I know he was closing up majorly to him, but yeah, I think Rara happy just sitting behind him for the time being. But yeah, if I'm Kailu, I would definitely say you're more beneficial pitting up a bit earlier, just so at least you can have a bit of an undercut on those hard runners, let the medium guys catch up to him, and then attempt to overtake him. Whereas at least he'll be leading the race as well for that brief period until those medium runners do end up catching up to him.
Yeah, I think the reason Rara's getting so close to Koban is because Caillou is looking for the moves. So Rara is forced to gain on Coleman to avoid any chance of Caillou making a move on him, because Caillou, he's burning ERS here. Mika, 3 seconds, but I think it's just a case of, you know, Rara's forced to do something he's not wanting to do. He's actually forced to get close to Coleman, and it could easily go wrong. But I think, yeah, Rara might be going for the lead here. And he actually does go for the lead. Interesting. He actually went for the lead there. I think it was because of Caillou, though. Caillou was gaining a lot, so I think Rara was forced to make that move.
Yeah, no, it certainly was, but I don't think Coolman's going to have enough in the tank to be able to get the move back done on Rara in the end. So yeah, Rara now back into the lead of this race, and again, it depends on how long for. We're now on lap number 15 of 36, and this is where I start to expect the medium runners to be making their first pit stops, aka Kailu, True Drive, who's ended up actually, I didn't realise, dropping down behind Carl Scarrett, so he's obviously made some sort of mistake. And you know, Jays as well, he made a pit stop early. Kailu's in. Yeah, so that, as I say, was to be expected. We'll see where Kailu does end up coming out when the rest of these guys have made their pit stops, as Max are picking up another 3-second time penalty. So at the moment, you are right with your prediction of the Frenchman in the Alpine. Yeah, it's basically written in the stars for him. Maxo, as you say, in the Alpine, the Frenchman, potentially looking to pick up the most amount of penalties. As Oshin getting the move done on the Dutch missile through turn number 2, and that's yet another position lost for the Dutch missile. He's now down in technically a net 8th position, with Kailu just coming out of the pits.
Puma's taking the lead. He was burning it there. They were actually going down. They put the foot down. Oh, Rara caught a lot of curve there. It's going to hurt him. But yeah, I think they're pushing it now, knowing they have to watch out for the undercut from Caillou. I think Caillou has his undercut anyway, just knowing the pace he has, especially early on. But I think these lads, I think they need to, this is when they need to be compliant now. They can't afford to fight, because that just will open up the gap more and more when they exit the pits to Caillou. So it's gamemanship here. It's going to be, well, I think Rara's going to go for it here potentially, but he lifts again. Of course, it's another thing you have to consider is that the section points here, like 50% of his lap is DRS. So like, as soon as you've done one DRS, though, you'll have the guy behind you, DRS now. But Rara has made the move now in turn 5. So now it'll be Coleman with the DRS. Will he try and burn it to retake this lead? Not right now, but he's got to watch for Hazara. Hazara's gaining a lot. Is Hazara going to risk it? No. He really could have gone for that move, but he deserves to arrest there.
Yeah, he certainly is just content with sitting behind. But I think what these two NLR boys are doing, they're playing it smart. They're allowing each other just to go for overtakes on each other, just so that they can keep the DRS going. You know, having that straight line speed that they need to keep Caillou at bay when they make their pit stops. But it looks as if Rara has actually pulled away slightly from Coolman. Coolman looks as if he's struggling a little bit more than what Rara is up in front. And that's telling, considering that Hazara was also, you know, relatively close. As Oshin, the first one for the hard runners, as well as Mika, to make their pit stops onto the set of the medium compound tyre. So Oshin's going to try and go for an undercut on the rest of these guys. That means the Dutch Missile has now lost DRS to the top 5 guys. Starting on pole, and he's now down in 6th without any sort of DRS as well. So yeah, it's now going to start to be a bit more of a struggle for the Dutchman in that AlphaTauri. But at the moment, as I say, Rara's still the one lead in this race as True Drive picking up the 3-second time penalty. Kailu, he has actually come out quite significantly ahead of Oshin, which is a good thing to note considering that Oshin was stuck in this DRS train as well. Kailu was in 3rd, Oshin was down in 7th. And 2.5 seconds is, as I say, it's quite a big gap. So yeah, it's then got to now mean that the rest of these hard runner guys, they should be in at the end of this lap, I would have thought.
It's going to be just so get them 18 laps in the mediums. That is going to be a push. Like, they'll do it, but towards the end, they will definitely be hurt. Like, I think, are they going in? Are they both going in? Both of them are in. But Coleman is out!
That's a full course safety car as well. Did Hazara hit Pullman?
He lost it, and I think he lost the rear, and I think Hazara clipped him. I don't think there was any wrongdoing for Hazara. Coleman lost it, and I think Hazara clipped him. I don't think Hazara did anything wrong. I don't even know if he clipped him, but Coleman lost it himself, unfortunately. But the championship leader is out. Oh my lord, that's changed up. Coleman was looking to have a massive lead in the championship.
I mean, he was looking for the win. He was looking for the win this evening.
He was looking, yeah, he was looking for the win. Either way, getting a point tonight would have just given him a massive lead in the championship. Now he's just going to have to be, he has to sit there and just hope the likes of Damien, Rara, and Frankish don't pick up big results. He may keep the championship lead, I think, because he has 5 to Mika. But jeez, it could be results like this that, when all is said and done, that could be the difference in the championship. Because he looks set on for a podium at minimum. So it's all changed now, and I think Hazara he could take the lead here. Because I don't know. I don't think Rara got in before the safety car came out, so I don't think he got full benefit. But oh, actually Hazara has changed his wing, so he must have clipped Coleman.
Yeah, I thought he would have done so. Yeah, Hazara, unfortunately, now not going to inherit the lead. It might actually be Damien coming out of the pits. He's actually, in fact, Damien has managed to jump up to 2nd position and Ruddy into 3rd.
My God. So Coleman's crash has inadvertently given his closest challenger that's racing tonight a chance at the win. Damien was what, 6th?
Yeah.
Oh my lord, Ruddy's up. Coleman's benefit from that. He's up to 4th. Caillou's the biggest loser here. He's 5th on the hards. Only guy on the hards. Caillou has... That's mainly because Hazara had to change his weight. He would have been down to 6. So Caillou is in a bad position here. Also, like, another guy who was in the championship battle, definitely. What about the safety? I'm just going to run to the bathroom quickly.
That's fine, no worries. So, yeah, Rara then inherits...
I'm not going to lie. I don't think I was going to make it to the end. So, thank you for the safety car. I feel bad for you, but thank you for the safety car.
Yeah, so Rara will inherit the lead of this race. Damien will then take 2nd and Ruddy in 3rd. Dutch Missile kind of given a bit of a lifeline. Means that he's able to now get back within the DRS of the rest of the guys out in front of him. Despite, again, as I said again, starting on pole position, he's now down in 4th. Caillou, I think Oshin was right, I think is the biggest loser. He's in 5th on the hards, the only driver on a set of the hard compound tyre. If I was Caillou, I probably would have actually pit again to go on a set of the mediums, just so you're not losing out entirely. But now he's down in 5th, as yeah, it means that he's going to lose out probably quite a few other positions from the guys behind, even ones with penalties. Frankis has actually made it up ahead of Oshin, so I'm not sure what had happened with those guys, as Mika as well in P9. And Max Power, who started at the very back, he was a reserve last minute. he's up to 10th and he's actually jumping up to 7th with the guys out in front of him with those penalties. So that's credit where credit is due to Max Power, jumping up to P10 throughout all of this. But yeah, I think now that's massive for the championship. Coolman ending up, yeah, he must have been hit by Hazara, as you said, with Hazara changing his front wing. And he's put something in the chat saying nice thanks. So yeah, I can probably guarantee that he did get clipped around, and unfortunately championship leaders now out. Kailu and Damien have now been gifted an absolute lifeline to try and take that championship lead from not only Coolman but from Gian as well. Gian's still only 5 points behind Coolman, and it's going to remain that way. The question is Kailu going to be able to get 7 points on the board? And same with Damien, he's 13 points behind. So it's up to Kailu, see if he can maybe get the jump on Coolman and Gian for this championship. But with him on the hard tyres, realistically, it's not looking good for him. And I think he's just going to drop a multitude of positions.
Very interesting to see what happened. Did Coleman get tagged? I was only on board with him, so I'm not sure if Hazara did clip it, but the fact he had front wing damage. But that will be investigated later. Right now, we're going to see who wins the Austrian Grand Prix. Rara and Damien. This is not the first time we've seen these two battling for a win. We saw this happening in Bahrain, and Damien came out on top with a last lap pass. We have 15 laps to go to decide this one. So Rara, when will you go? He's going now, and he's got a brilliant restart. As I think Damien's going to be more focused on the mirrors than in front of us. Ruddy's right behind him. Could Ruddy go for a move potentially? A bit too far back, but that's not where you make the moves. You make the moves down this straight. Dutch missile, 3-second time penalty. That will hurt him. So I think he's going to lose to Caillou. He's actually 3 right behind. 4v4 between Caillou, Hazara, and Dutch missile. Who's going to break the latest? Who's going to brave it out? Dutch missile breaks the earliest, hoping these two get tangled, but they don't. Hazara and Caillou keep it racing, but Hazara is up to P4. No moves for the front three, though. All clear the restart. Everyone's still pointing straight. No one looks to have had any moments there, so all good there. As ooh, Max Power almost goes into the gravel there from turn 4. It's all clean now. As we just now wait for the ERS to see Maxwell. That's 9 seconds. That's gonna drop him down significantly. That's gonna hurt his chances of points today, especially. Well, meanwhile for his teammate, he's controlled his lead from the start. Lots of fast lap being put in here. But David, he's burnt a lot of ERS. So has all the front pack has burnt a lot of ERS. No one seems to have maintained any ERS actually. Everyone burnt it at this restart. But Damien, he's looking for it. Is he going to throw it down the inside? No, backs out of it. But oh, into the back of him. Oh, lucky not to have a spin there. Is he going to go for the move here? Oh, I think he's... Oh, he might go for the move. He is going to go for the move. Damien, no, backs out of it. Tries to force Rara to take the inside line. Can he get a switch back here? Rara very wide. But no, I think Rara's going to maintain this position for this lap. Anyway, Hardy's staying back. Look at these two getting very close. Rubbing his hands again. But he needs to hope that if they do get caught up, that he doesn't get caught up as Calarico, as Hazaras quickly joined back of this. Caillou has been dropped from this top battle. It might come to him late in this race when the medias wear up, but he has slightly used hard, so it's going to be difficult to see if they come back to him. But now we get the message that DRS is enabled, and now the game's beginning to play as we enter the last third of this Austrian Grand Prix. Who will win it?
I suppose that's only time will tell. Hazara's going to go for the move on Ruddy. It means that Ruddy's going to have to try and use, and it means that Damien's going to have to try and use. He goes down the inside of Rara. I think they're going to be 2x2. Noah's arcing as Ruddy's trying to go down the inside of Rara as well for P2. Not going to be able to do so. Rara's then going to inherit the DRS. Ruddy very low on ERS himself as well. Damien goes defensive as Rara's going to try and go around the outside into towards turn number 4. Ruddy's now going to try and go down the inside of Rara through turn number 4. A little bit of contact between the two NLR drivers, and that means that Hazara's going to try and go around the outside of turn 5, had inside for turn number 6. I think Hazara might end up doing it, although Ruddy saying that has actually managed to get the better traction coming out of turn number 6, so keeps that P3 for the time being, meant that Kailu can then just close back up to the back of these guys. So realistically, they got the gap from Kailu for about 8 attempts, and unfortunately for him, it's now, well, unfortunately for the top 4, Kailu is now back within the DRS of these guys, as Dutch Missile also just about keeping DRS to the rest of the guys out in front, as that's a spinner out towards the back. That's Giovanno and Griglic, I think, as well. Giovanno dropped back quite a few positions, and Dero, Kalscarat and True Drive also all having their own little battle there for P14. But I'm going to go back towards the front end of the grid, as I think Hazara might be eyeing up a move on Ruddy down towards turn number 3. A little bit of contact between the pair of them. Hazara going into the back of Ruddy, and I think that means that it's going to compromise Ruddy ever so slightly, because now Hazara, I saw him turn on his ERS, but he's turned it off straight away, and I think he's not going to go for the move on Ruddy for the time being, but just putting that pressure, mounting the pressure onto the back of the Mercedes. So that's Franquise now going for the move on Oshin as well, and Oshina's just still having a little bit of a tank slapper coming out of turn number 4 as well. So yeah, the two Ferraris now just involved within this. What turned into only a 5-car train has now inherited down to a 13-car train with Maxer at the back of this one.
Yeah, that little bit of battling is just barring for together. Damien had a bit of a gap forming, but it's quickly closed now. Just the effects of DRS here. But Race had a brilliant run for the last corner. It'd be a big risk if he's going to go for it. But, yeah, he's not going to go for it. I don't think he would be. It's smart there. But like, a lot of close moments are happening here. Damien rubbed the back of Rara. Hazara rubbed the back of Ruddy. You're getting a bit wary when you're going on board with someone when it comes to these braking zones. It's very easy to go in the back of someone and just cause Calaricos. I think Caillou possibly tried to move on Hazara there, potentially. That would have been a big move if he made that, but he maintains P5 right now. Caillou's main job at the moment is just to stick with these guys. The hard should come to towards the end of the race. Of course, it's going to be difficult to tell because he has 4-lapped all the tyres compared to the rest of the guys who pitted for the mediums. So it's going to be difficult. It's going to be difficult to tell when and if that crossover point is going to come in Caillou's benefit.
Yeah, I'd want to say lap 32, I think, is when we're going to see it in about 6 laps time. I think those mediums will then start to drop off a bit more, and then it allows Caillou on his... He'd have 16 lap old hard tyres, so he would still be a bit on the worse side for his tyres as well, but I think it would still be significant better as Damien. The 3-second time penalty for our race leader means that Rara will then inherit the race lead on paper. So now it's up to Rara. He's closed his DRS. It's now up to Ruddy to see if he can maybe go for something. Rara's going to go down the inside of Damien in towards turn number 3. Ruddy as well. Also going to see if he can go for it. Yeah, Damien goes a bit wide out of turn 3. Means that Ruddy's now going to be side by side with the Aston Martin, and he hasn't got any DRS either. So they're going to go almost 3 wide in towards turn number 4. They are going 3 wide. Ruddy's going to go down the inside of Rara, down through turn number 4. Damien gives him a little bit of a shove on that as well, and Ruddy's going to have the inside for turn 5. Rara will then have the inside for turn number 6, but I think he's already been overtaken by his NLR compadre. He certainly has. Damien now boxed in between the two NLR boys, and it's going to allow Rara to, I think, maintain his position up ahead of Damien. He certainly does. Hazara now trying to see if he could switch back going through towards the penultimate corner as well. Not going to be able to do anything. Damien, unfortunately for him, with that 3-second time penalty, meant that it got elbows out for the rest of those guys, and it meant that Rara had to go for any sort of move he could. Ruddy now getting a little bit of a gap between his NLR teammate, but I think Rara, he's already closed up back up to him with that DRS, so I think Ruddy is going to be under a significant amount of pressure, and you can see he's using that ERS to try and stay up ahead of Damien, because I don't think Damien's going to be content with sitting behind these two for the rest of this race, despite having that 3-second time penalty. As Rara's going to go down the inside into turn number 3, and I think he's going to get that move done. He keeps that DRS as well. Ruddy gets shoved out a little bit as well, and Damien maintains that gets that P2 now off of Ruddy, but Ruddy's trying to use that ERS. He wants to go back in front of the Aston Martin, and it's now allowing Hazara to maybe try and go for a move on Ruddy as well in towards turn 4. Hazara's going to go down the inside, a little bit of door shut in between the pair of them. Damien gets the lead back of this race. Rara now going to hold the inside for turn number 5, and turn number 6, and I think he's going to be able to maintain that position from Hazara. Ruddy was leading, literally going through to turn number 3. He's now down to 4th position, losing out 3 positions at the start of that, and Damien, he's starting to run away from these guys already with the amount of battling that they're all doing.
Gloves are off. Damien's 3-second penalty has flipped the switch in everyone. Gloves have been thrown to the floor. It's bare knuckles to the end of this race. Maxwell, I think he had a traditional turn 4 moment. I think he got clipped into turn 4. That spun him down to 16, so it does look like there'll be points for him. But right now, it's all gloves off at the moment as Hazara is going to look for what is evidently going to be the race win here. It could be free wide. Rara's going to go for the lead on Damien again. More archy-barchy here. This is going to be very tight towards the end. But Damien maintains that position right now. But is Rara going to try into turn 4? Damien gives him a little bit of a shot, but Rara has the move. Done well into the corner. Oh, bit of contact between Damien and Rara. I think there's a bit more contact there. Hazara is now... And Damien, he needs to pull. This hurting Damien a lot. But he just hasn't got an opportunity to pull at all. So he's going to drop down significantly here. Which is only music of the years to come, man. Seeing that penalty come up for Damien, that will benefit, but it will promote Caillou a position also. It's a double-edged sword, this situation here. But we're going on... Oh, shooting another 3-second penalty. We're going on to lap 30 of this race. Is Damien going to try and move into turn 1? I don't think we've seen it yet. They're very close. If they break a 10th of a second later, they are going right to the back of their opponent. But down the inside, Damien's going to have this move done well before turn 3. But Hazara's thrown one. Hazara's thrown one on Rara. I think Hazara, if he gets a good exit, will move up to P2 here. It's going to be a drag race between turn 3 and turn 4 to see who takes P2 here. But I think Rara is going to have it. But Rara's looking in front of him rather than behind him. But he's going to go through turn 4. But that might not benefit him, and it is definitely not benefit him. Hazara goes through, Roddy goes through. I think Rara clipped the curb there, unsettled his car, and he's lost 2 positions right there because he wanted to get the lead on track. He was off, he did not really care about inheriting the win through penalties, and that has dropped it out significantly. As Caillou was just looking at this, absolutely loving what he is seeing, knowing that sooner rather than later he's going to have the benefit. But can he get the move? So it's going to be the question. He's going on to another frantic lap, as it's going to be. Oh, Jesus Christ! I don't know who's going to win this. I don't think it'll be Damien due to how close it'll be. I think it's between Hazara, Roddy, Rara, and Caillou for this win. But whoever wins it will have made a massive effort to take this win. As I think this is going to be the start of Caillou's moves. He's looking at Rara. Hazara actually takes the lead there. He maintains the lead. Does he have DRS? No, he does not. So is Damien going to try and fight this back? He's burned the DRS. Roddy and Rara going out. We're going to potentially have 2 wides here as Damien gets the move back. Oh, Roddy's around.
Yeah, he just went straight on, and that's a safety car. Roddy went straight on. I don't know what had happened with him. I don't know if his wheel disconnected or what, but he was braking and then just went straight on. So
his car's not moving. I think his brakes failed.
Yeah, very strange, very, very strange. But then that means that Hazara now inherits what is basically the net race lead. Roddy, DS Kids, so very unfortunate.
I think his brake failed because he was moving his straw hole and he was moving his wheel and his straw was going up, but there's nothing on the brakes. I think his brakes just failed. But now, who's pitting? Damien stays out. Hazara stays out. Rara stays out. Caillou stays out. Oshin stays out. Mika stays out. Max Power stays out. Fraser stays out. Andrero stays out. Coscara stays out. Everyone else is taking the gamble and throwing on softs. I think it's going to be a 2-lap shootout to decide this race. Right now, it will be Hazara who wins this race. Damien, this safety car does not benefit at all. As the pack beat all bunched up, and a lot of lads have actually not got penalties yet. Of those who have stayed out, only Damien, Oshin, and Mika have penalties, so we could say Damien dropped down to potentially 7th. Look at the penalties actually right now.
I think
at the moment, True Driver will be winning the Covenant Esteban Ocon Award with 18 seconds of penalties. I think he has that set up, but Oshin with 6, that is going to hurt him a bit. With the fact that most drivers out of the points have penalties, he should maintain his points position. Mika has 3, Damien has 3, Josh Missile, Frankish, Grey Lake have 3, IJ's has 6, Maxro has 9, and True Driver has 18.
Yeah, I think if there was, if the gloves were off beforehand, now that these guys have put onto a set of softs, oh boy, it's definitely going to be gloves off now. And the guys that are on a set of softs, I know that they all have penalties, but the guys that are on a set of softs, they're not going to care. They're going to try and do what they can on those softs and get through. this grid. Yeah,
This is going to be messy.
Yeah, it certainly will be. But Hazara, as I say, is the one that's in this net race lead at the moment. Rara in second and Kailu in the net third. I think, as much stick as we've given him for, you know, him being the biggest loser after the safety car, I think Kailu might actually be in the best spot. Those medium compounder tyres are going to start to go off when this safety car has restarted. Those hards will definitely be in better nick than what those mediums will be. So I think Kailu still is in the best spot possible to maybe go for this race lead, especially if Rara and Hazara are going to be, you know, dueling it out for this race lead for the last couple of laps. Damon's obviously still going to be involved, so he's still going to be, you know, playing a factor within all of this. It means that Kailu can still, you know, get some sort of move done on maybe one of Rara or Hazara. And I think Kailu, as I say, I think he's still on for this race win. But again, can't rule out Rara, can't rule out Hazara, especially Hazara. I don't think he's even really scored that many points throughout the season so far. I mean, he's sitting down in seventh. Yeah, he's only gotten a P3, and that was at Silverstone, and that was it. Safety car is in at the end of this lap. So Hazara is going to try and look for the top step of this podium. Will he be able to do it for this evening? No, I guess only time will tell, and we'll see when Damien is going to end up coming.
Finally win a race. Well, I think Damien needs to pull a second a lap on these guys to win this race. I can't see that happening. I think he's looking at game P4 here potentially. I think Hazara, Rara, and Caillou would definitely be in the free. He has Usher and Mika also on penalties to hold the rest of the guys back. But with 3 laps to go, we have Damien, who has a job on his hands to win this race. But with 3 laps to go as they cross line, who is going to win this race? Damien has the lead on track at the moment. Hazard has the lead on penalties. Well, here we go. Oshi's already looking at Caillou. He's got penalties to worry about himself though, but he definitely wants to bridge some gaps at the moment. But it's all clear at the moment. A couple penalties coming up at the back. But Rara is looking at Hazara. Hazara forcing him a bit wide, a bit trepidatious. Bit of wheel banging there, but I think Rara has it. Could Caillou possibly find a way back? Damien already has a second. Can he do this with these guys fighting? Hazara's going to try into turn 4. Someone's gone off. The Dutch missile's gone off after taking pole. It will be no rewards for him. But Hazara back into the lead. A bit aggressive though, and that is only benefiting Damien here. Caillou's right behind these guys. Those are going to be well and truly out. They've been out for a while, but I don't think there's anything left of the pair of knuckles right now as things stand, as Damien could actually go on to win this race. There's a lot happening at the back, but we're focused at the front.
Yeah, certainly is. So Rara is now going to just have to sit behind Hazara for the time being as Caillou eyeing up a move on Rara for a net second position. 1.5 seconds. Damien's already built up a gap with Hazara. DRS will be enabled on the final lap of the race as well. So Hazara needs to try and catch back up to Damien to try and get himself back into that DRS. Caillou as well, all over the back of Rara. He wants to even try and go for a move, maybe down in towards turn number 3. Rara's going to try and go defensive on the inside and towards it as well. Maxro retiring from the session as well. Our third retiree of the race so far. Rara manages to hold on ahead of Caillou, and this is where I said Caillou's tyres are starting to come into fruition now as well. Hazara almost getting himself back into the DRS of Damien as well. Damien's burnt quite a lot of his ERS. Damien has a massive tank snapper out of turn number 4. Means that Hazara is now going to end up getting within the DRS of the Aston Martin as well. So where Damien thought he managed to build that gap up ahead, I don't think it's, well, that gap has now pretty much been nullified, and Hazara needs to try and do his best to stay within the DRS of Damien. If he does so, which it looks like he might just about maintain, then it means that Hazara gets that DRS. Rara's then going to be at a disadvantage, and then I think Hazara might be actually on to win his first race of PSGL F5 as well. Frankie's kicking up a 3-second time penalty, and Griglick getting a move done on Andero. We're on the final lap here now, Sheen, and I think it looks like Hazara might be picking up his first win.
Yeah, Rara has no ERS at all. Hazara saved up some, but yeah, none of them have ERS at all. But I think that might be, I don't really see any chance of moves unless someone has a massive mistake. There's gas forming. Rara has a massive tank slapper. That's costing the win there for definite. It might cost him P2 potentially. As here comes Caillou. He's had a brilliant run for turn 3. It's going to have to be a fight on track for what's going to be P2. They were close to contact. Caillou has a tank slapper. He's going to fight this back. I think there's been issues in the back, but who's going to take P2 here? I think that was Caillou's last chance to get Rara. So right now, we're coming out to the last sector. Damien will win this race on track, but due to a 3-second penalty, he's just going to lose the lead. He's going to lose the podium. One more corner to go. Damien will win this race on track, but the winner will be the Williams of Hazara, who wins in Austria. Rara gets P2. Caillou potentially taking the championship lead right now with P3. Damien gets P4. Fraser P5. Giovanni, who was last place at that safety car restart, gets P6. Andrero P7. Mika P8. Grilic P9. And for the first time this season, I can proudly say an Irishman is in the points. Oshin has got P10.
Yeah, congratulations to all of those boys, and especially to Hazara as well, taking his first win of the season. Rara, commiserations of a second place, and Caillou, as you say, is now inheriting that championship lead. So, yeah, once again, that's another change in the championship standings, and we're now at halfway throughout this season, or practically halfway through the season. Round number 6 next week around Japan. Yeah, I think it's all still kicking off as I think he's now going 3 points ahead of Coolman in the standings. Damien will actually inherit second place off of his teammate. I think they'll both be on even terms, so in fact actually GM will still remain third. Coolman will be second, and Damien will still keep fourth place, but the two Aston Martins are on equal pegging now in terms of points positions. But yeah, Hazara can't be taken away from him. In fact, he actually jumps up. In fact, no, sorry. He jumps up ahead of both Damien and Gian in the standings. He goes up to fourth position in the standings because he's now on 33 points with that win as well. So Hazara throws his hat now into this championship. He takes the win this evening. Rara will inherit second, Caillou in third, Damien in fourth, with Fraser in fifth, Giovanni in sixth. Andero ends up seventh in the end, after both Giovanni and Andero starting in 18th and 17th, and Mika in 16th. All three of them finish in 6th, 7th and 8th respectively. Griglick in 9th, with Oshin taking the final points position this evening. Carl Scarrett in 11th, with Jays in 12th, Max Power in 13th, Drew Drive in 14th, Frankie's in 15th, Dutch Missile taking the fastest lap on that final lap in 16th, with Max Rowe, Coolman, Ruddy, all unfortunately retiring and DNFing in this race. Ruddy, very unfortunate for him indeed, and same with Coolman, both of those guys running very high up as well. And unfortunately for NLR, it's not been their night for this evening. But yeah, Hazara now throwing, as I say, his name into the hat for the championship means that Caillou inherits it as well. We're now halfway, well, basically halfway through the season, and it's all kicking off majorly.
Yeah, and despite missing 2 rounds, Gian is only going to be 6 points off the championship lead.
Yeah.
We're yet to hear if he's going to be back for Japan, but missing 2 races and only being 6 points off the lead, like, that's a P5. Like, I think Gian is going to come back pleasantly surprised to see himself like that close to the championship lead. Like, I think Gian's definitely the one I'm looking at winning the championship right now, just knowing what he's been capable of. The 2 races he's had clean, he's won. He's won them convincingly also. So we'll wait till he comes back, of course. Like we've seen today, a lot can happen championship-wise the past 2 races. Koeman looks set to extend his lead significantly, and then we're yet to figure out what happened while he was coming to the pits, but it all went away from him. And then, like, it all went away from Ruddy. He could have added himself to the championship mix there. He was battling for a podium, but what we believe was a brake issue put him out and created a late safety car, which gave Hazara the prime position to take this win. And, you know, he's now in the talk for the championship. There is probably 6 drivers who are within a win of the championship lead. We need to get that confirmed once we get the official standings, of course. There's probably going to be some investigation, of course. Also, there is a talk of, like, did Hazara is the one we're in question of with Coleman with that incident, and he did have damage, so we're yet to figure out what exactly happened there. So definitely keep an eye out for any penalties to come, because there could be some, but that could definitely throw some curveballs in the way.
only time will tell. And as you say, any issues and inquiries we'll let you know through next week. But thank you to everybody that has tuned in for this evening. Like I said, make sure you guys are tuning in next week for round number 6 around Suzuka. Once again, big thank you to the PSGL sponsor of GT Omega. Like I said, you can always check them out in the description as well. And you should be able to use code PSGL to get yourself a nice little discount on the GT Omega website. But thank you to everybody that has tuned in this evening, and we'll catch you guys next week, as I say, for round number 6 around Japan.
Desperately trying to hang on. He's got the inside off. Here he's through on the left hand side. Hooks the apex, gets on the power nicely, and that is job done. Jarno Opmeer now to the last couple of corners now. His finest drive, his greatest drive, and he's done it at the Circuit of the Americas. He returns to the top step of the podium. Once again, the ghost is back. Jarno Opmeer wins the US Grand Prix in a stunning Grand Prix.